So I'm sure everyone here today has had to write a pitch to a journalist that they were a little bit nervous about, but that was really important. When this happens to me, I edit and I edit my pitches until I just can't look at it anymore. And then I share it with a colleague or I share it with a friend and get their feedback. And then finally, I send it to the journalist with a hope and a prayer. But at the end of the day, my colleagues and I, we're just guessing about what will land with the journalist. What if instead of guessing, you had the confidence to know that the language you're using will get you a response? That's what augmented writing is. Augmented writing is writing backed by data that will tell you if your writing will get the response you want from the audience you want. Augmented writing works within Textio's connected language platform to not only show you your writing patterns, but writing patterns across your entire company. And sometimes those patterns can be hidden and unveil things you might not expect. So today we're going to talk about language patterns, company culture, and how you as comms people can change these things within your company. So over the last few years, the story we comms people are telling to the media, to consumers, to businesses, they're all blending together. These companies recently have gone through some major cultural crises, and they've been on display in front of everyone across the media. And they've changed the way we as consumers view these companies. Despite these businesses being fundamentally good, all of these CEOs, or in some cases former CEOs, have suffered real consequences for their company culture. So clearly, company culture is critical for business success today, and it's critical for communications professionals. Because when the companies we work for say one thing externally and do another thing internally, we're the ones who are going to be caught flat-footed. So you might be wondering, how can I change this? One of the ways, the words you use every day. The words you use, they broadcast to the world what your company values. Certainly, as comms professionals, we have a strong point of view about who our company is and who we want to be in the world. But because many of the language patterns that our company uses are hidden, we may not sound the way we want to. And that's where software like Textio comes in. Textio's connected language platform is the missing link between the company you are and the company you want to be. Let's take a look at some of those hidden language patterns. Here's an analysis that Textio did on 8 tech companies and the language they use in their candidate communications. Now, I highly doubt that the internal comms team at Amazon is encouraging people to use the language like wickedly or maniacal in their candidate communications. But when thousands of people do, that says something about your company culture. And this language in particular has a lasting impact. Statistically, words like maniacal and wickedly, they attract more men to open roles. So more men apply, more men get hired, and so on and so forth. Now, we showed this image externally, and it caught many companies by surprise, but it also got a lot of attention from press. This was featured in the Wall Street Journal, Inc., Quartz, and dozens of others. This was of real interest to press because it showed a real gap in these company cultures. So when you use software like Textio, it can recognize these language patterns, and you can actually change them before any of this content gets published. So I want to play a little bit of a game with us and talk some more about other language patterns. These are very personal to me right now, but there are specific types of family leave. And all of these, in different variants, show up in candidate communications. You can talk about paternity leave, maternity leave, or adoption leave. All of these speed up your hiring. But which one do you think speeds up hiring the most? Well, whatever you thought, your neighbor probably thought something different, because at the end of the day, without data, you're just guessing. As it turns out, adoption leave impacts your hiring by far the most. Now, why might that be? Well, companies that talk about their culture in the most broad and inclusive way are really attractive to job seekers. Let's try this again. Which of these 3 words speeds up your hiring the most? Think about hardworking, driven, or bright. Hardworking speeds up hiring the most. In fact, bright slows down your hiring. Hardworking relates to a type of, a concept that's gaining a lot of popularity within company cultures today called growth mindset. Growth mindset is the idea that within a company, you can learn and grow and expand your skills. On the other side of that, there's the idea of fixed mindset, and that is that your skills are innate within you. So you were born intelligent, or in this case, bright. And that kind of language is not appealing to job seekers. They want somewhere where they can learn and grow. Interestingly, hardworking also statistically attracts more women to your roles, and bright attracts more men. So I've talked a lot about different language patterns, and you're wondering, how can you get these cultural values into your job post? How can you do this at scale? I want to show you how Textio works. This is Textio Flow.
We've all been here before. The blank page. The misery of not being able to find the right words to express your ideas. But what if you could write as fast as you can think? What if you could type a simple idea and just by pressing a key, transform it into a full expression of your thoughts? This is Textio Flow. It's a powerful new technology that changes the way it feels to write.
So I want you to imagine what this could look like to scale your messaging across your company culture. You could find the best words that you use every day and permeate them throughout the organization. All of us have written brand guidelines, and they've never been used, as we could see by the previous slides, because they're too clunky and hard. Now we have software that will allow us to propagate our company's best storytelling to everyone within the organization. So I've talked a lot about different language patterns. I've showed you how the product works, but you still might be wondering, is changing a few words really going to change my company culture? So I want to give you the example of one of our customers who's been with us a couple years, Zillow Group. They're local here to Seattle, and their VP of recruiting, Annie Wren, really cares about creating a balanced workforce. And she really invests in their employer brand and is trying to create a really great company culture. So she turned to Textio to help. Before Zillow started working with Textio, 55% of their job posts were masculine in tone, meaning statistically, more men were likely to apply. Since using Textio, they've changed their language patterns, become more gender neutral, more inclusive, and now only about 4% of their job posts are masculine in tone. This is really changing the face of their workforce. So as I mentioned, Annie cares deeply about their employer brand, and Zillow loves to talk about their culture. They're very proud of the culture they've built. These 3 values appear on their careers website to tell prospective employees about the culture they have at Zillow and what they can expect. But showing up on one page is not the same as showing up in every email that's emailed to a candidate, or what if your job posts exist on Indeed and no one ever goes to your website? How do you imbue these values into all of your candidate communication? That was the challenge for Zillow. So one of the ways you do this is you don't necessarily copy-paste the words "make an impact" in every single thing you write, but you use what we call linguistic cousins, or synonyms if you don't want to be fancy. And we find ways to put that language through everything we write in different ways, multiple times. So since Zillow has been using Textio, language like "make an impact in the world" has gone from 55% of their job posts to 83% of their job posts. And other language like dedicated and initiative have seen similar jumps. Not only does this language help get across what Zillow's company culture is all about, but it also speeds up hiring. And Zillow's comms team has seen the benefit of changing this language and changing that company culture. Since working with Textio, Zillow has been recognized as one of the best places to work for women, also the best places to work for new dads, and most recently, the coveted Fortune 100 best companies to work for. Congratulations to Zillow. So, by changing your language, you can change your company culture. Textio's connected language platform can help us as comms people scale our messaging and positioning across the company and create future workplaces that we are proud to work at. Software like this creates cultural accountability and shows us what we truly value as companies. And even better, it allows us to change that to better match our narrative. Thank you very much.